Number 21. Escobar started his criminal career stealing cars. Yes, he had humble beginnings in the underbelly of society. He also smuggled items such as tombstones before entering narcotics trade. Number 20. He once visited the White House. The year was 1981, and the Escobar family visited the capital of what in Latin America is known as the American Empire. A recent HBO documentary revealed this photo that shows the audacity of Escobar, who at this time was already a global leader in drug trafficking. Number 19. He was elected congressman in Colombia to see community. Escobar was a public figure in Colombia for very early on. He was even elected to the Colombian Congress seeking parliamentary immunity, so he could escape a potential extradition to the United States if his cartel was ever dismantled. Number 18. He even wanted to become president of Colombia. Pablo's political ambition went as far as wanting to officially be the first in command in his country. However, when he was kicked off Congress, he told a confidant that the government was the real mafia. He desisted. Number 17. He was once considered the 7th richest man in the world. In what was basically an insult to the Colombian government, Forbes magazine listed Don Pablo as the 7th richest man in the whole planet. Wonder what place he would have had in the list had all his hidden money been accounted for. Number 16. Planes, cars and submarines. Escobar has a knack for finding the most elaborate ways to get drugs into the US. When his fleet of cars, planes and boats wasn't enough, he bought a couple of subs to seal the deal. Number 15. The Medellín Cartel spent $2,500 on rubber bands a month. Yes, someone had to keep all that cash neatly together, right? Escobar's criminal organization made so much lana that they needed thousands of rubber bands, according to Business Insider magazine. Number 14. In fact, he was so rich that he bought an island in the Bahamas, Cayo Norman. In this small piece of land, he set up a high-end drug smuggling facility complete with giant freezers to keep the cocaine fresh. Of course, it has a small airport and all the amenities, which of course included luxury homes for narco-style relaxing and debauchery. Number 13. Rats ate millions of dollars he stored in houses and fields. The problem of having way too much illegal money is that the cash needs to be stored somewhere. In his heyday, Escobar would make about $420 million a week, and hiding all that cash was problematic. He buried it in fields, hid it in furniture and walls. Rats would get to it, but he didn't really seem to care. Number 12. In his prime, Escobar smuggled 15 tons of cocaine a day into the US. This is an enormous amount of powder. The price went up immediately after entering US oil, which explains why Escobar amassed such an enormous fortune during his lifetime. Number 11. The hippos he owned escaped and are now reproducing in Colombia. Needless to say, 3-ton hippos are not supposed to live in Colombia, but when the kingpin was shot, his pet hippos were forgotten and are now roaming the area where hacienda apples used to be. There are about 30 of them and are causing real problems in the ecosystem. Number 10. His hacienda is now a Jurassic Park. Pablo Escobar's estate was seized by the Colombian authorities after his death. The kingpin's beloved hacienda Naples was converted into a thematic park featuring real-size dinosaur sculptures. Number 9. He built 70 community soccer fields. Escobar loved building a Robin Hood persona, which kept him safe in his city. He was a big soccer fan, and he built dozens of soccer fields for the youth. Number 8. He is responsible for the killing of 200 judges and 1,000 police, journalists, and government officials. Escobar's iron rule went from worst to worst during his reign as the leading trafficker in the world. Innumerable human rights violations were perpetrated by Escobar's men, or by others as a consequence of the drug war. Number 7. Javier Bardem was nominated for a Goya, the Spanish Oscars, for playing him. The Spanish actor played Don Pablo in a 2017 movie that follows his romance with TV reporter Virginia Vallejo, played by Penelope Cruz, who wrote the memoir on which the movie is based. Number 6. He briefly met El Chapo. The two biggest drug lords in history had a very brief encounter a couple of years before Escobar was killed. El Chapo was then an up-and-coming member of the Guadalajara cartel. If we believe the recent El Chapo TV show, Escobar was impressed with the young man. Number 5. Escobar married in 1976, aged 27, his bride was just 15. A 12-year difference between spouses is not that strange, but it gets kind of iffy when the bride is basically a teenager. Number 4. Narcotourism in his hometown is a booming business. Believe it or not, there are tours where visitors can sleep in Escobar's state, see his collection of cars and roam the streets where he built his cartel. Even though Colombia wants to clean its public image. Number 3. He was shot a day after his 44th birthday. It is believed that Escobar had a longer conversation with his son than what he generally allowed himself to avoid being tracked. This happened a day after his 44th birthday. 10 minutes later the D and the Colombian special forces were onto him. Number 2. He died of a police shot in the head, or did he? The official version argues that Escobar died of one last fatal shot in the head by the Colombian police, what Netflix's show Narcos showed, but his son has declared that the final bullet indicated suicide. We will never know the truth. Number 1. More than 25,000 people attended his funeral. Don Pablo was revered by thousands, and his funeral in December 1993 was attended by friends, family and the people he helped. Night and day up until his very last day. Did you know some of these Pablo Escobar facts? Comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.